Hello, everybody. Risk of Rain 2 needs more layers. At least, I think it does. Before you start typing, no, I am not trying to say that the game is dying and or headed in the wrong direction and needs these changes ASAP or something along those lines. I want to gather my thoughts in one place and also ask you all on what will keep you playing this game for many months or even years to come. Think of this video as a discussion on the possible directions the game could go from now until release and beyond. Are you content with it staying as a stereotypical roguelike with little to no progression outside of the actual runs themselves? Or do you want a little more? Maybe a skill tree or a class-specific item to unlock and progress the game as you play normally, something like that. Let's be real, most of you watching the video right now are the ones that are still playing the game or still very invested in Risk of Rain 2. The majority of the people that have played and are waiting for updates probably aren't here right now and therefore won't weigh in on the discussion. So let me just fix that here real quick. Alright, is now an RPG. Let's add a few question marks, exclamation points. Oh yeah, gotta add the topical games in there too. Okay, and perfect. That'll get them in here. Let's start here with the topic of Risk of Rain 2 just staying a true roguelike. We don't know exactly what Hopu's ideas are with the game, nor how they will implement them, but we do have the roadmap, which, with as much as we currently know and given Hopu's track record, can be summed up to the updates will bring more of the same content. Minus Artifacts 2.0, we could probably expect a bit of a shakeup there. Now, let me reiterate, we have no idea on the specifics of what's to come. Hopu very well may be hiding things from us. If they are, it's probably for reasons like this video. All I'm saying is that here we see new bosses, items, survivors, and stages, and not a whole lot else, which again is not a bad thing. It just means they have a clear idea on what they want to tell us is coming. We can only speculate on what will actually happen. However, let's do some speculating. Let's say that after the December, March, and spring updates come, that the game essentially plays the same way. You have 4 stages per loop, just with more items and stuff to kill, and eventually you can decide to face the final boss and then end your run. Is that enough for you? I'm genuinely curious. For those of you who are super into the roguelike genre, is that all you want out of your Risk of Rain 2 experience? More of what you're used to or expecting from the roguelikes? For me, while of course it's going to be awesome getting all this new content, once we hit the spring update, what's next? Even more of the same? This is where I'm going to start tossing out ideas. What if we had a skill tree that incentivizes grinding and rewarding you outside of your runs? What about a PvP system like Invasions, where you could burst into someone else's run and kill them for their loot? What about a quest system, super powerful and tradable items that are acquired from insanely challenging content? There's so many possibilities. What I'm saying is, what if Risk of Rain 2 bled into other genres instead of sticking to the roguelike? At its core, it won't change, and I don't want it to. In fact, the core of the game, the actual combat and gameplay loop, is why I want to see some branching out. It's that fun. It's that good. Killing heaps upon heaps of monsters is extremely fun in this game, like crazy fun. It's the reason I'm still playing the game and making content on it, because I'm still having that much fun. So what if that core loop was expanded upon? What if other systems like PvP, skill trees, or eventually some kind of trading system were introduced? Hello, Mr. Streamer, that would just make this game an RPG or an MMO, and that's not what the game is meant to be at all. Yeah, I understand that, but I'm not talking about a complete overhaul. Anything that is added to the game needs to put the core loop at top priority. But honestly, with the radical nature of what these RPG or MMO-esque ideas would bring to Risk of Rain 2, perhaps what I'm wanting is an entirely separate game, but with the Risk of Rain 2 combat system. Who knows? But let me give you an example here. Let's say a skill tree was implemented, where new passive and or active benefits were added to your survivor. The tree would persist outside of your runs like lunar coins do. That alone would throw off the balance of the core loop. It wouldn't change it fundamentally, but it would absolutely affect it, because with things even as simple as a minor damage increase here or there, or maybe some adjusting to how fast your projectiles move or something like that, you'd be gaining power and would progress through the first stages of a run differently, thus changing your overall run. But that's not really what I'm after. I don't want change for the sake of change. Again, I'm okay with the core loop. For me, it's more about giving something to work towards. A skill tree is the most basic example of rewarding a player for their time spent in the game. The more you play, the more you level up, and the more traits you unlock in the skill tree. What I'm getting at is the progression. I'll put it out there, boys. I am an avid RPG player and I am addicted to progression, okay? While fun and interactive combat is absolutely an important pillar to keeping me hooked on a game, it is not the only pillar. Without a sense of meaningful progression, my interest will wane over time, and I'd wager that for most of you probably share a similar opinion. Take Destiny 2, for example. Say what you want about Bungie, but man, do they know how to make a good feeling shooter. I've been playing this game a ton off stream and hit the level cap of 950 a few weeks ago, not including the seasonal artifact, obviously. I've done all the story missions, all the side quests, all the exotic quests, except for the Izanagi's quest line, which is still bugged again, and I have to wait for it to be fixed again. I've done the 980 Nightfalls, done the raid, you get the idea. At this point, I've run out of things to progress toward, and I'm now basically in a holding pattern until the next chunk of content is released. I don't really care about the triumphs, which is supposed to be what you grind for after you've done all the things that I've done. My point is, despite not having anything to really progress towards, I'm still playing the game because it's fun. Now, take that same sentiment and apply it to Risk of Rain 2. Imagine that Risk of Rain 2 had that sense of progression, and then when you run out of things to do, you get to play the game because it's fun. Yes, with the Skills 2.0 update, we received a bunch of new abilities that each require its own challenge or grind to unlock, but for me, and I'm sure many of you guys as well, the sense of progression really wasn't there. It wasn't a grind. After the first few days or however long it took you to unlock the new skills, that was it. Risk of Rain 2 already has that fun part nailed. It's the progression that needs to be bolstered. Now, I'm not too far gone down the super cynical, jaded, elitist rabbit hole here, where I completely disregard the new player experience. If you're a brand new player, there's absolutely stuff you will work towards and unlock to feel that sense of progression, like the 57-leaf clover. Once you get that bad boy, holy moly. There are many hours of that sort of progression for a new player to experience. However, and no offense to you new players, I am not talking to you here. I'm talking to the ones who already have spent their hundreds of hours playing the game and are way past the point of experiencing that new player sense of progression. What do you all think the game needs to keep you hooked? Again, I want this to be a discussion. If you don't feel like commenting, at least leave a like or dislike on the video. That way I can gauge your all's opinions on the topic. Also, let me know if you want more of these discussion type videos. You can follow my stream at twitch.tv/WoolieGaming and join our Discord server if you'd like a place for notifications when I go live or upload a new video on YouTube, or just to have a place to hang out and talk Risk of Rain 2. Thank you for watching.